Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, thank you for listening to Dem Boys Podcast, episode 10. My name is Joe Ovaya. That's at Amorn Cup of Joe. And joining me, as always, today, one of the hardest working guys on NFL Twitter, Shane Carter. That's at Shane Carter TX. What's up, Shane, and how's it going?
Going good, man.
Happy to be back. We took a week off.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know people were probably wondering what was up with that. I mean, I know you weren't feeling too good. And truth be told, there wasn't any new news anyway. So, I mean, we put those videos out there, and the fans didn't seem to mind.
Right. There really wasn't much going on anyway. It is July, so even without COVID, there wouldn't be a lot of NFL news. But luckily today there was. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Before we get into it, though, just want to give a shout out to all of our fans and supporters again. On Facebook, we are literally like a couple likes or follows away from hitting 2,000 followers. So thank you so much for that. Our other socials, such as YouTube, even on Twitch, our Twitter's been going up. I saw that. So that's awesome. So thank you so much for those follows. We want to give you, the best content that we can, and we want to update you as quickly as we can as well. Getting all those follows is really encouraging, and thank you so much for that support. But let's go ahead and kick off the big news here. Patrick Mahomes agrees to terms on a 10-year extension worth $503 million total. He gets $477 million in guaranteed mechanisms and the ability to have opt-outs if the guaranteed mechanisms are not exercised. There's no trade clause, and he's the first $500 million player in sports history. History was made today. So Shane, what do you think about this contract, and how do you think it will affect the quarterback market going forward, especially with our quarterback, Dak Prescott, who's currently right now, his franchise tender would guarantee him a one-year salary worth $31.4 million for 2020. And I'm sure that's safe to assume that that's going to be the floor on his per year average going forward now with this new massive deal that Mahomes got.
And the first part to answer that question is, as far as his contract, I'm going to say guns up, baby. For those y'all don't know, me and Joe are both alumni of Texas Tech, of the Texas Tech University, the same school one Patrick Mahomes went to. But back then, we called him Patty Ice. I don't know why that name didn't just stick with him to the NFL. I mean, I don't know. I guess they want to change it up for him, whatever. But as far as how it relates to the Cowboys, because that's what we care about, every time a quarterback gets paid, the price tag goes up. Now, for those wondering, no, Dak ain't gonna get this $45 million a year contract Mahomes is getting. Mahomes is in his own stratosphere of market. All right, let's get that out the way first. He's like you said, he's the first $500 million player in the NFL. Okay.
Right. If you want to think of it this way, he's Michael Jordan. He's Michael Jordan, basically.
He's Michael Jordan getting paid Mike Trout money. This is like your own. This is here's a blank check. What do you want? Cash it. All right, so let's get out the way. As far as like Dak's number, we know Dak's deadline to sign an extension for this year is the 15th. So I think you can well speculate that the number was about 36, 37 per year.
Right.
But if they don't get that deal done by the 15th, and Dak plays even better this next year, hey, let's just say for argument's sake, right? Let's say for argument's sake they make it to the NFC Championship game. They don't win it, but they make it there, right? And Dak's stats are kind of the same as they were last year. Last year, Dak had his best statistical season of his career, right? He's not going to get that $45 million a year number that Mahomes got. But you can't tell me that $36 million a year contract is going to look like chump change, because it's going to cross into $40 million a year territory. Not only that, The longer that the Cowboys drag this out, the more other quarterbacks are going to get paid. Deshaun Watson is next. Lamar Jackson not that far after. Baker Mayfield might get another contract. Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. All these other quarterbacks are going to get paid, and the Cowboys keep stalling. They're going to owe Dak Prescott like a ton more money than they should have. I tweeted this out earlier, and Joe, I know you follow me through. I know you know where I'm going with this. If they had gotten this deal done back in March of 2018, before he started his fourth season, his number would have been somewhere around $28 million a year. Now, if he goes into this next season and plays well, they're looking, and they don't get an extension done by the 15th, right? They're looking closer to $40 million a year. So all the Cowboys are doing is digging themselves a deeper hole if they want to keep their quarterback. So that's what this means.
Right, and I think when it all comes, to an end finally, Dak's going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and I think it's either going to be around that $40 million, if not right underneath it, but the incentives will push it to that $40 million. Because one, they waited so long, and two, I mean, this gigantic contract, right? Now, another thing that I saw going around Twitter and, just the sports world in general regarding Dak and the 10-year extension, do you think that has anything to do you think that's going to affect the contract negotiations at all? I don't think so personally, at least for me. We've seen these long-term deals before, so I think that his camp is still stuck on the short-term deal and then get a massive one in 4 years.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So if the quarterback market had increased the way it had normally been steadily, one quarterback paid more than the other and so on and so forth, like one after the other, then by Patrick Mahomes' like 6th, 7th year into his new contract, then the next quarterback would be paid about as much as he is per year, about $45 million, right? The thing was, Pat Mahomes signed this thing ahead of time, so he's immediately setting his own standard for the quarterback market. At this point, the market really ain't Patrick Mahomes money, it's Russell Wilson money. It's $35 million a year, right? So what we can look at this is that Dak is saying, okay, I ain't gonna get Mahomes money, but there's no reason to believe why my negotiations shouldn't start at Russell Wilson money. They should now start above that. Instead of like saying, hey, too, yeah. I ain't gonna, yeah, like he's not gonna settle for anything less than Russell Wilson money. Because here's the thing, Russell Wilson, I think you and I both agree, he's a better quarterback, at least right now, than Dak Prescott. I think Russell Wilson is only second to Mahomes. And this is like the first time I can remember in a long time that the first and second highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL were, at least in my opinion, the first and second best quarterbacks in the league, Mahomes and Russell Wilson. Again, that's my opinion. But now Dak is saying that Mahomes has elevated the quarterback asking price, and now the minimum has gone from, let's say, the Jared Goff 33.5 per year, right, to Russell Wilson's 35 a year. And all that means is that now he's going to say, hey, you know that number I said before where I can match Jared Goff's number? No, that ain't happening. No, I want this. Now if the Cowboys don't give him more, guaranteed more per year, they're going to keep prolonging this. And what's worse is that this could end up being a Kirk Cousins situation where they lose him. And I think you and I both agree that, if you're a Cowboys fan, you remember those years after Aikman left and before Tony Romo got there, they had a list of, pretty much replacement player names. It was it was so depressing to be a Cowboys fan in those 5 years. It really was.
That's when you know you
and Romo was like a savior that really the Cowboys kind of wasted. I hate to say it, they wasted his career. He had a great career, but they wasted it. The thing is that they have a quarterback in Dak who really could end up being the best quarterback they ever had. Dak Prescott's first 4 years, not counting postseason success, just as a quarterback, he's having a better 4 years beginning of his career, and like most other quarterback stats, wins, QBR, yards per game, wins per season, than like guys like Staubach, Aikman, Romo, Danny White, all these guys. Now he didn't have the postseason success of some of these other quarterbacks. He only has one playoff win and 3 appearances. But as a quarterback, he has a potential to be better than them all. And I think if they keep playing this nickel and dime game with him, they're going to lose him.
He also didn't have Hall of Fame coaches, so there's that too.
Well, we could argue Mike McCarthy could be a Hall of Fame coach when it's all said and done.
I hope so. Anyways,
well, I mean, yeah. If you just look at his time, in Green Bay, he's one of the best coaches at the very least of the last decade.
Right. Agreed. Yeah. A little earlier, I think you nailed it on the head. When I first saw this, I thought of two things. One, I mean, Dak must be ecstatic, right? But two, I kind of got worried in that I think this raises the chances of us actually losing on Dak. I really think it does. And I think he knows it too. And another team is going to jump the gun and want to sign him as quick as possible as soon as he's on the market, because they're going to see, whoa, all these quarterbacks that are coming out, all the ones that are rookies right now, when they're due, their contracts are going to be gigantic. So if we can cash in next year on a great starter who can possibly be an elite starter, as he grows, you want to go ahead and nail that in and lock him in for the future. And I don't know if the Cowboys are convinced that he's the guy, and I'm afraid that they're not convinced of that.
No, I totally agree. I mean, now the pressure's on Jerry Jones because he keeps waiting. If we look from the timeline, I said let's just go from March 2018. I said they should have signed him back then, right, to right now. Right. The quarterbacks that got signed in between that time. Jared Goff got signed, right? Carson Wentz got signed. Ryan Tannehill got an extension. Patrick Mahomes got an extension. all these quarterbacks are resetting the floor and resetting the ceiling for franchise quarterbacks. I mean, you said earlier, he's on the Cowboys franchise tag for 2020, sorry, right?
Right.
And that's going to be $31+ million a year. His asking price, if I think, is going to be Russell Wilson $35 million a year, then next year's cap number is going to be about $38 million. That's the franchise tag number for a quarterback next year, the way it's looking. Okay? The Cowboys can ask themselves, they want to pay Dak $38 million a year on a tag, or do they want to give him the contract he's earned, give him a $38 million a year number, and be able to work with it in the cap so that they don't keep losing money and potentially lose a quarterback?
Right. It's a little frustrating. Hopefully this situation and this event causes the front office to, suck it up and give him what he wants, make the deal happen before the 15th. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully next Monday when we're recording episode 11 of this show, we're happy, sitting back that and excited that we have our quarterback of the future all locked up. But we might end up being, on the other side of the spectrum and be sweating and worrying and, uncertain of the future. So we'll see what happens in the next coming days. But I'm hoping, it happens, sometime this weekend or early next week.
Right.
Cool. Any last words you want to put in about Mahomes or Dak?
Yes. First of all, Patrick Mahomes, you're my dude. You and I met a few years ago when I was working one of the tech games. You're a goofy dude, but you're a kind man, and I appreciate all you did for Tech. I think we wasted your career at Tech. I firmly believe that, but you've made, in just 3 years, the most of your time in the NFL, and it looks like you're going to be making even more of it. Like, I can't be proud of him as a Tech alum, as a Texas football fan. I'm a fan of all things Texas football, not that school in Austin. I mean, like, Texas football in totality. and I'm glad that a representative like us is able to be able to top the market as is. Now the Cowboys, get off your asses and give Dak Prescott his money. Yeah, I said it. Stacks Prescott.
Stacks. Man, he's gonna have stacks on stacks. Hopefully next week. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, shout out to Mahomie. He basically put Texas Tech on the map. After everything he's done for the university.
Oh,
Him
he did.
Chris Beard.
You know how big of a boost that was to Texas Tech football recruiting after he did all that?
Crazy. He changed the game. Every kid wants to be Mahomes now. So they're throwing football sideways.
If they had a defense, I'm sorry, that's just me being a bitter Tech alum. They wasted him at Tech, 8-win seasons. If he had an average defense, they could have been like a 10, 11 win a year program. I firmly believe that.
Right. Hey, it allowed him to sling the ball over the place because we were down so much. So maybe it worked out in the end. Anyway.